All right, welcome back. At this point, hopefully you are understanding action verbs and helping verbs, and you're ready to learn the third kind of verb, which is a linking verb. I know that on your screen, this is probably looking very small, but hopefully you can also have this packet in front of you while I'm talking you through this. I make it small so that we can see this whole Venn diagram on the left all at once. This helps you to see that linking verbs don't have their own list. Linking verbs could always be either helping verbs or action verbs. There is not a single word that is always a linking verb. That's why I would say that this lesson, in my opinion, is the hardest of all of the grammar lessons. Yikes. So that means that you should probably be paying close attention. Sorry. So I'm going to get back and zoom in on this page, and I'm going to introduce linking verbs. You can see here, well, if you remember with helping verbs, we focused on the word help. With linking verbs, it is very important to focus on this word link. That's why I have these chains here that linking verbs link. They normally link the subject to a kind of description of the subject. So definitions, linking verbs connect the subject with a word and the predicate. That means it's with a word that comes after the verb. So to figure out linking verbs, first we're going to look at this part of the Venn diagram where sometimes linking verbs overlap with helping verbs. Now these words that we're looking at are am, is, are, was, were, be, being, and been. I have memorized that list because I've said it so many times. That means it's important. So helping verbs. We just went over this. We know that she is the subject of our sentence. And we saw that teaching is a type of verb. We could see someone teaching, so it is an action verb. Now we talked about helping verbs. We said they always come before another verb. Helping verbs can never exist on their own. So this one is a helping verb. It comes before another verb. Now, linking verbs is the new thing. Now, teaching is what she was doing, but this one, she is a teacher. She is our subject, and then we have this tricky word is. Well, wait, over in this sentence, it was a helping verb, but what is different from this sentence to this sentence? It's that this one doesn't have another verb. So this word is stands by itself. In this case, I would call it a lonely linking verb. What else can help us see that it's a linking verb is that it links she to a quality about she. She is a teacher. It's describing her. Now, a is a noun indicator. You should recognize that. Now, this we're going to learn in a second is a noun that comes after our linking verb, but we can also have adjectives that come after our linking verbs to describe the subject, like this one. She is our subject, and then we have the verb is. We know it's a verb because it's in our list of either helping verbs or linking verbs. Now we look at the word nice. Is nice describing someone, or is it something that someone does? Well, we know that it's not something someone does. We know it's describing someone. It's an adjective. So that means this is all by itself. It can't be a helping verb because there's nothing for it to help. So therefore, it is a linking verb. All right. Now, what's important is for us to see how we would label teacher and how we would label nice. Those are called predicate words. The words after a linking verb are called predicate words. So first we could have a predicate noun. Sometimes they're called predicate nominatives, which is a person, place, thing, or idea. We've already learned what nouns are. That's like teacher. It's a thing. So we would put P in for predicate noun or predicate nominative, same thing. Now for this one, we have John. John is our subject. We just learned that is, if there's no verb for it to help, is a linking verb. Okay, so now we have this fancy noun indicator. Some people call it an article, but it tells us that there is a noun coming after it. That's an easy way for us to know that this is a PN. Comes after the linking verb and it's a noun. Now, predicate adjective describes a subject. John is our subject. Is doesn't have another verb for it to help, so that means it's a linking verb. And then cute doesn't have a noun indicator before it. It's an adjective, so it is our predicate adjective. Whew, that was a lot of learning right there. So we just went over the difference between basically the group of words am, is, are, was, were, be, being, been. We just talked about how to know whether those are helping verbs or linking verbs. So now we're going to talk about if we see a word that we think could be an action verb or a linking verb. That is on your Venn diagram towards the bottom. Become, feel, grow, look, remain, seem, smell, sound, stay, taste, and turn. All of these could be actions, but they could also be linking the subject to a word in the predicate, and we have to figure that out. So this first sentence is an example of an action verb because you should recognize it. First we have, well, the is a noun indicator or article. Then who smelled the flower? Well, we know the boy is the subject. Now, smelled, he could actually, like in this picture, although the picture's of a girl, but he could take a flower, he could hold it to his nose, and he could complete the action of smelling it. So smelled is an action verb. We'll learn later that this is a direct object. It receives the action. So smelled here, you can see, okay? The skunk smelled bad. Well, first of all, we know our noun indicator, and we know that skunk is our subject. That's what the sentence is about. Now we see the word smelled here. And we think, if you looked at a skunk from far away, could you see an action of whether it smelled bad or not? Not really. This picture kind of makes you think you could see it, but you couldn't see it. So really, smelled is telling us a quality of the skunk. So smell is actually linking the skunk to the quality, and the quality is bad. Now, this isn't a thing, this is an adjective, so this is our predicate adjective. Whew, that may have been a little bit complicated, but we're going to go over some funny mistakes of a linking verb versus an accidentally labeled action verb. Okay, so let me explain. This one is the fire felt hot. Well, if this was correct, the is our noun indicator, fire is our subject, okay? It felt and hot. This is where you would think, did the fire reach out and touch a thing called hot, or is hot a quality describing the fire? Hopefully, if you think about it, you realize that it's a quality. This is our linking verb, and hot is an adjective, predicate adjective. Okay, if you did that wrong, if you said that felt was an action verb because you thought that you could see the action, then basically you would be telling me, oh, I should make that red. Hold on. Red. You would be telling me that a fire, does that look like a fire? Okay. Would have an arm, kind of looks like a piece of garlic. You would tell me that a fire would have an arm and it would reach out and it would touch a thing called hot, right? This would be wrong. This is not an action. Instead, in this sentence, it is an adjective, a linking verb connecting to an adjective. Let me give you some more examples. The girl grew tall. So girl is our subject. Well, now you have to wonder, is this a linking verb or is this an action verb? Let's go to the accidental one. What if you thought, well, you can actually see a girl growing something. Well, then what this would really mean is that the girl, if you thought this was an action verb, you would think that she dug into the ground and she buried a thing called tall, and then she grew it, which isn't possible. You can't complete the action of growing a tall. That means that over here, tall is actually helping describe girl to us. Grew is linking girl to tall. So that means grew is our linking verb and is helping connect girl to a quality about the girl. She grew, predicate adjective, tall. Last one, the broccoli tasted gross. We know that the is our noun indicator and that broccoli is our subject. Over here, the broccoli. Now, we could pretty much figure out that gross is also a predicate adjective. I guess I like those because all my examples are those. And we can realize that gross is describing how the broccoli tasted. So broccoli is being linked to gross. Now over here, if we were wrong, we'll do green since broccoli is green. If we were wrong and we thought, sorry, it's doing something here. If we thought that broccoli could actually have a mouth and taste a thing called gross, then I would draw a picture of a piece of broccoli with a mouth. Oh, hold on, let me see. I think it'll let me do this. Okay, sorry about that. If I thought tasted was an action verb, then I would draw a broccoli or a tree, whatever you want that to be, and I would draw it completing the action of tasting a thing called gross. Now, I hope that area didn't confuse you. My point of this is to tell you that if you really think through these words, you should be able to figure out whether the subject is being given a description and if the subject could actually complete that action. That's why I say this is, I believe, the hardest lesson of them all. So hopefully you got that. Go on to some practices and start giving it a try.